Hello everyone and welcome to my Python programming course. My name is Lavish and I am a student of LPU and I will be your instructor throughout this course. Whether you have never written a single line of code or you are completely new to programming, don't worry. This course is designed for absolute beginners. Over the next 10 lectures, we will start from basics and gradually build up writing complete Python programs. By end of this course, you will have a strong foundation in Python and you will be ready to explore areas like data science, machine learning, web development, automation, or even data structures. My teaching style is simple. We will understand the basic concepts and then we will see how these concepts work, and finally we will write the code together. So without wasting any more time, let's begin our Python journey. So the very first question arises in someone's mind is, what actually is programming? So, for example, let's understand what programming actually means. Let me ask you a simple question. Imagine your mother asks you to make a cup of tea. What would you do? You wouldn't have magically have tea appeared. You would follow a simple sequence of steps. First boil the water, then add the tea leaves, add sugar, milk, boil it and pour it into cup. Every task in our daily life is completed by following a series of instructions. Instruction 1 plus instruction 2 plus instruction 3, and then so on. We'll have a final result. Computers work in exactly the same way. A computer cannot think on its own. It doesn't understand English or Hindi like humans do. It only follows instructions that we provide. The process of writing those instructions in language that computer understands is called programming. So, programming is nothing but giving instructions to a computer to perform a task. Okay. So tell me this, can a computer decide on its own what to do? No, it simply follows the instructions that we write. So now we will learn what is a programming language. I will draw a simple diagram here. Human, we have a human, then programming language, then PC. So we can understand from this simple diagram that programming language is a mediator between humans and a computer. Humans speak languages like English, Hindi or Spanish. Computers don't understand these languages directly. So we need a special language to communicate with them. These special languages are called programming languages. For example, we have C, C++, Java, Python, and so on. So today we will begin with one of the most popular programming languages in the world, that is Python. So Python is a high-level programming language. Now what does high-level mean? It simply means that Python is designed to be easy for humans to read and write. You don't have to worry about many complex details that lower level languages require. So the key features of Python are, it's easy to learn. It's easy to learn, it's easy to read also. It's beginner friendly. It's powerful as compared to others, and open source. So Python was created by Guy Van Rosen in 1991. His goals was to create a language that was simple, readable, enjoyable to use. Even today, Python follows the same psychology. Now I will write a simple program here. The very first program which we write in any programming language, when we say hello, here we are saying hello to our world or our PC. Even if you have never programmed before, you can guess what this line actually means. Most people would say it prints the word hello. That's exactly why Python is so popular. It reads almost like English. Now a question arises in everyone's mind. Why should we learn Python? Why should we learn Python? So there are some features of Python which are so good that it's important for us to learn this language. The first one is easy syntax. As we have seen before, when we were writing this. So easy syntax means you spend less time worrying about punctuation and more time solving problems. Second, huge community. Millions of developers contribute tutorials, libraries and answers. And third point is thousands of libraries. Instead of writing everything from scratch, you can use powerful tools. And last but not the least, high demand in the market. Python skills are actually used by many different industries, so there is a high demand of Python engineers. So now the other question which arises, where is Python actually used in the industry? So we have Python here. I will write Python. So there are many domains in which Python is actually used. For example, I will be naming someone. Web development. We have web development here. Then we have data science. Okay, and so in data science we use libraries like NumPy and Pandas, which we are also going to cover in the last few videos of this course. Then we have AI, machine learning, we have cyber security, and we have game development. So if you learn Python, you will be able to explore these fields also. In data science, Python helps analyze large data sets. In automation, it can rename hundreds of files with a few lines of code. And in artificial intelligence, Python is used to build systems like chatbots and recommendation engines. So now we will be commencing with variables. Suppose I ask you to remember my name. You might remember it for a while, but if I give you 100 different names, it will become difficult for you to recall. Similarly, a computer also needs a way to remember information while a program is running. So a variable is nothing but a named location in memory used to store data. A variable is like a labeled box that stores a value. For example, this is a box. So this is a storage box. The name written on the box is the label, and whatever, for example, I write my name here. So whatever is kept inside the box is called the value. Now we will be making more such boxes here. For example, we can have example of a cupboard. We have a cupboard. We have a wallet. We have a bottle. So a cupboard will store clothes, obviously. Wallet will store money. And bottle will store water. Just like a cupboard stores clothes, a wallet stores money, a variable stores data. Now the question arises, why do we need variables? So I will be writing a program here in which we have to print, for example, we have to print my name for 4 times. We will write Lavish 1, 2, 3 and 4. Suppose now we have to change this name to Rahul. Say we will write Rahul, second time Rahul, third time and Rahul, fourth time. But now we see that whenever we are changing the name, we have to change the name 1, 3, 4 times. Okay, so this is a lot of work. Suppose if there are 4 names. Suppose we have to change 100 names. So it will become difficult for the computer and it will take so much time. Now here variables play a very crucial role. For example, I create a variable here, name, and I will store my name in the particular variable. And now I am going to print my name. Okay, so I will be writing print name 3 times. Okay, so what will this program do? This will print my name of, as the print statement do. It will print Lavish and Lavish 3 times. Now if I want to change this name to Rahul, I will simply write name equals to Rahul. And now if I run this same program again, it will print Rahul 3 times. See, now everything automatically prints Rahul. That's why variables saves time and make programs easier to maintain. So now we will understand how the variables are represented in a memory. For example, I create a variable age and I store 20 here. Now in the computer memory, it is stored as something like this. We create a box here, we will write age and we will store 20. Now if we change age to say 25, the computer memory will look like this, age and 25. Okay, so notice that the variable's name didn't change, only the value inside the variable changed. So like this we can also create multiple variables. There is no boundary how many variables you want to create. You can create a program, can create 1,000 of variables, and every variable store its own value. Now there are some rules. which we follow while naming the variables. So the first thing is it can contain letters. It can contain letters. Example, name, age. Second rules, numbers not at beginning. While writing a variable name, we can't use numbers at the beginning. We always use numbers after the letter part. For example, we can write marks 1, name 1, but not the other way around. We can use underscore also. For example, you want to write student name. So the thing is, we can't write like this. Like we can't. Okay, there shouldn't be an empty space here. So for this, we use underscores. We can write it as student underscore name. And the last rule is we can't use Python keywords. Now we will be learning keywords in the next section of this video. So we can't use Python keywords. For example, we can't use print because print is a command. We can't use class. We can't use for. We can't use it, if, etc. Okay, if you don't know what keywords actually mean, don't panic. We will be learning very soon. Now we have also understood that we can also change the variables. So there are different type of variables. Now we have different types of variables. So the first one is string. String variable. The string stores characters basically, like name. In the name we store a name. This is a string because it is made up of characters. Now we can store like in age we can also store integers. For example, I create a variable age and I store 25 in this, so these are integers. We can also store integers in this. We can also store float values. So float values are nothing but decimal values. For example, I create a variable named price and I store 99.8 in this, so this is a float value. And we can also store Boolean expression. So Boolean expressions are nothing but true and false values. So true and false are Boolean expressions basically. Like I create a variable name is past and I can store true in this. Okay, so a variable can store different types of data depending on what we assign to it. We will learn these data types in more detail in the next lecture. Now moving to the next topic, which is data types. Before learning data types, let's understand one thing. What is data? Data is any information that a computer can store and process. For example, your name, your age, your marks, mobile number, salary, etc. All these are different kinds of information. Some are numbers, some are text, some are true or false values. Since they are different kinds of information, Python stores them differently. These different categories are called data types. So, a data type tells Python what kind of value is stored in a variable. Think of it like a school. Students are divided into different classes. Similarly, Python divides data into different types. So we have data. Python divides data into types like we can say numbers, text, true, false. So now I will be writing some basic data types which are used in Python. We have data type here. We have, for example, we have meaning, we have okay. Though, so the very first and the most basic data type is int. Int stores whole numbers. For example, 1, 2, 10, 0, etc. and so on. Then we have float. So float stores decimal numbers like 10.1, 22.5, etc. Then we have string. String store text. For example, someone's name. So for example, I'm going to write here like Python. Also thing is, whenever we are going to write any string or we are going to store any string in a variable, we will write the string in these double quotes. In Python, whenever you are going to define any string, you have to write the string in the double quotes. Now the next data type we have is Boolean, which store true or false statements. Okay, so these were the data types. These are the very basic data types which are used in Python. So in today's lecture we are just getting introduced to these data types. In the next lecture we will explore each one in detail and learn how to work with them in Python. Now keywords. Now what are keywords? Keywords are reserved words in Python which have their own special meaning and can't be used as variables. That have a special meaning. Think of keywords like a reserved seats in a movie theater. If a seat is reserved, no one else can use it. Similarly, keywords are already reserved by Python. We cannot use them as variable names. For example, we can't use if. We can't, because if is used for decision making. We can't use for, which is used for loops. We can't use class because it is used to create classes. We can't use true false statements. We can't use break. We can't use statement like continue, return, import, and many more. There are a lot of keywords in the Python. You will learn it whenever you will be starting with the coding part. Don't worry if you don't know what all these do yet. We will learn them one by one throughout the course. With the theory behind Python, now it's time to write our first Python program. For this course, I will be using Jupyter Notebook. It is one of the most popular tools for learning Python and is widely used in data science and machine learning. One of the biggest advantages of Jupyter Notebook is that we can write code in small text sections called cells and execute them one at a time. This makes learning much more easier, especially for beginners. So this is the homepage of Jupyter Notebook. Here we can create new notebooks and organize our files. So I will create a new notebook by clicking at this new button and then I will select Python. So it will take some time. So now we have a blank notebook. Uh, so before writing the code, I will tell you about the interface of the notebook. So this section is called a cell. Here we write our code, and for execution, we have to press Shift plus Enter. And you can see when as there is no execution because I haven't written anything in this. So when we press Shift plus Enter, it immediately creates a new cell below the previous cell. So now we will be writing our first code. For the very first code which we write in any programming languages is the print statement, in which we will be saying hello to our world for the very first time. So I will write
print, and in the double quotes, I will write hello world. So everything written inside quotations marks is treated as a text, which we call a string. Before I run this program, try to guess what the output will be. So let's press Shift plus Enter. As expected, the output is hello world. So congratulations, you have written and executed your first Python program. I will be giving you more examples. So we can also print, say I print my name is Rahul. So it will print my name is Rahul and it will immediately create a cell below the previous cell. We can also print numbers in this. For example, I will print 100. So it will print 100. Now there's a catch. While writing, printing the numbers, we didn't use quotations. Why? Because everything written in the quotations is treated as a string. But here we are going to print an integer. Moving further, we can also write, I will be writing two statements here. Print, and in the double quotations, I will write 10. And I will add a cell here and I will print 10 without double quotations. Now, if I execute this 10, we know what will be the output. It will print 10. But when I execute this result, this will also print 10. But the difference is this 10, the data type of this 10 is a string, while the data type of this 10 is an integer. So this is the key difference between writing in double quotes and without writing in double quotes. If so, for example, if I write a print statement and I write Rahul without double quotes, it will give an error. It will say Rahul is not defined because we haven't we used the text without writing it in double quotes. So for printing, we have to put it in double quotes and then yes, it will print. Now the next thing which we are going to learn is comments. So for example, if I write here, this is my first Python program, and I also print hello. So if I put a hash here, thus this whole text immediately changed its color. So this is called commenting. So everything written after this hash is not executed by the program and it is seen as the text. So if I print here, it will only print hello because this statement is under comments. So is only actually used for information purposes. So while writing, when we have to write a large amount of codes, a user will put comments so that the reader, the person who is reading the code, uh, can understand what's the idea behind the code. And sometimes we want to write notes inside of a program. These notes are called comments. Python completely ignores these comments while executing the code. As we notice, only the hello is printed and the comment is ignored. Now we will be moving with the next topic, which is variables. For that, okay, we can use, if we see this is written code, we can click it and we can select Markdown. And and we can put a hash here. And if we can give headings like this. Give it very, and if I execute this, it will print a heading. Okay. So now let's start with variables. Now, for example, I defined a variable called name, and in the name, I will be storing Rahul. You see, when we have to store every name or a string in a variable, we use double quotes as we have seen previously. Here we are creating a variable called name. The value stored inside the variable is Lavish. Now think of this variable name as a labeled box. The Python in its memory will create a box called name, and in the name box, it will store the value called Rahul. Now, if I execute this code, okay, there is no result. Why? Because in this statement, we are simply telling Python, okay, create a box variable called name, and in the name store simply store out. Now, if I write print name, we will get our output. The print function retrieves the value stored in the variable and displays it. Now we can define multiple variables here. For example, I will again say define a name in the I will store Rohit. I create another variable called age in which I store an int value, which is say 25. And in marks, I will store another value called 95. Now, okay. Now what happened? Python created three labeled boxes called name, age, and marks. And in name, it stored Rohit. In age, it stored 25. And in marks, it stored 95. Now we will be printing these values. We will write print name, print age, and print marks. Okay, it printed row 25 and 95. The program can have many variables. Each variable store its own value independently. Now we can, as we have seen in the theoretical part, we can also change the variables. For example, I defined a variable called age, and in the age I store say 20. Now, okay, so we created a labeled box called age, and in that box I stored the value 20. Now I will print this age. Okay, so it printed 20. Now, if I write age equals to 21, and then I print this age again, it will give me 21 as well. Why? See, take it example. We have a box called age, and we have two balls. One red ball in which it's written on one white ball upon which it's written 20, and another ball on which age is written as 21. Now, when write age equals to 20, I put that 20 ball into the box. And when I will put my hand to get the ball, I will get the 20 numbered ball. Now, in this line, what I did, I take out I replace the 20 number ball with a 21 numbered ball. And when I put my hand to get the ball, I get the 21 numbered. Initially, the variable contains 20. Later, we assign a new value called 21. Now the old value is replaced. That's why they are called variables. Their values can change. Uh, in the theoretical part, we have also learned about data types. Now we will be commencing with them. So I will be putting a heading called data types. Okay, so I told you that the Python is a very user-friendly language. What do we mean by user-friendly? In any another language, when we are going to define any variable, we have to define that which type of data type we are going to use. For example, if uh, I'm going to write someone's age, I have to define this age variable is in int format. But Python is a very smart language. If I write name equals to Rohit, age equals to 20, height equals to 5.7, and is student equals to true. Now this name variable store a string value, age variable store a int value, height variable stores a float value, and is student store a boolean expression. But we can clearly see that we haven't defined it. The Python automatically knows which value, which type of variable we are going to create, and which type of values we are going to store in that variable. So if I run this, and then I say write, I want, I say write, I write type. Okay, the type function tells us about the data type of the variable. If I write here name, so see, it printed string because the name is written in double quotes and it's a string format. Similarly, if I type age, okay, the age is stored in age we have stored value 20, which is int format. If I type height, it create it prints float because 5.7 is the float value. And lastly, type is student. Okay, it printed bool. That's because true is the Boolean expression. Now I will be telling you about keywords. Python have some special reserved words called keywords. I have told you previously. These words already have predefined meanings, so we cannot use them as variable names. I will write import keywords and keyword. If I execute this, so this is a list of those words which are reserved in Python. Okay, we can't use them as variable names. This import keyword.kw list command gives us a list of Python keywords. Now we are done with data types, keywords, and variables. Now I will be telling you how to take a user input. Previously, we were doing, we were defining the name on beforehand. Like I defined the name Rohit. We are defining the name beforehand, but we can also take name as an input from the user. For this, we have to write input and then say I write enter the name. Okay, and we can we will be printing this name also. Name. Okay. So this is a program. So in the very first line, what I was going to say, what I'm saying is create a variable called name and take input from the user. Now we will execute this code. For executing, obviously shift plus enter. Now, okay, enter E here. Okay. So now it created this kind of box. Now we are going to enter the name. So I will be writing Rahul. And when I click enter, Rahul, we will be printing Rahul. Okay. This is spelling mistake. Sorry for that. Okay. Okay. So it prints Rahul. Until now, we have entered values ourselves, but in real world applications, we usually want the user to enter the data. For that, we use this input function. Now, here's a catch also. If I write age and I say before that, let's get the type of name. Okay, pretty obvious, right? Because then in the name we are storing a string. So the type, the data type of the name variable is string. Now we will be creating another variable called age and age. I will take input in the similar way and say enter your age, and we will be printing the age also. Okay, I will be writing 20 here. Okay, pretty obvious, right? We created a variable called age. We take input from the user. I entered the value 20. I add in age, the printed value is 20. Now, if I get the type of this age variable, okay, what should it be? Theoretically, it should be integer, but it's a string. Why? Even though we enter 20, Python still considers it as a string because the input function always always returns a string. Now, if you want to take int as the input, we can what we can do is we create another variable called marks, and we will take input from the user, input, enter your marks, and we will be printing the marks as well. Now, if I want to take int as the input, like integer as the input, I will simply put int before this whole statement, and then I will execute. Now I write say to 95. Okay, it printed 95. If I now check the data type of the mark variable, it's an integer. Similarly, we can take float as the input. Say we create another variable named height, input, enter your height, and we will be printing the height as well. Now I want a float value as the input, so I will be writing float before this statement. If it is a syntax error, forget it, comma. Okay, okay, I forgot this. Now I will write 5.7, and it will print obviously 5.7. If I check the type of height variable, it's a float value. We can also do type conversion in this. For example, I create age, and in the age I write 10 in double quotes. Now this data type of this age variable is string. Now what I can do is if I write age equals to age, and before this I put int here. So this data type of age variable is converted from string to integer. Now if I check the type of the variable, I will get a string. Oh, sorry, I will get an integer. Now I will be starting with the next topic, which is operators. So for that, I will be defining uh, two variables, a equals to 10 and b equals to say 5. Okay, let's make it 2 actually. Okay, now we have defined two variables, a equals to 2, b equals to 5. Now I am going to perform arithmetic operations using Python. So uh, as per in mathematics, we have different operators like addition, subtraction, power, division. Similarly, in Python, we are able to perform these operations using operators. So, firstly, the most basic operator is addition operator. For that, I will be write print. Then we will simply write addition. So, in addition operator, we will write a plus b, a plus b. Okay. So we get 7, which is the correct output. The second operator which we have is the subtraction operator. Right, subtraction equals to, we write minus b. We get -3 as output, which is correct. The next operator is multiplication and division also. The multiply a star operator into b. Here multiply this to 10. The next is division, which is 0.4. So these are the four basic operators of mathematics. Apart from that, we have modulus operator here. So modulus operator is defined by uh, this percent sign. So what does modulus operator do? If I write b modulus a, then it will give me the remainder. It will divide b by 2, and whatever will be the remainder, it will give it as the output. For example, if I divide uh, 5 by 2, 2 2s are 4, I will get 1 as the remainder, which is the modulus. The next operator which we have is floor division. Floor division means it will eliminate the decimal values here. Okay, previously when I write 8 divided by b, I got 0.4 as input. But now if I write a double slash b, that is floor division b, I will get 0 as an output. So it eliminates the decimal values. The next operator which we have is power operator. For power operator, we use two star signs. If I write a raised to the power b, that is 2 raised to the power 5, we get 32 as an output. So these were the very basic operators. Now we are covered with the very basic topics of the Python programming, and now we are going to solve some pretty simple problems. We are going to solve 5 questions. So the very first question is greeting program, right? In a markdown. Okay, and one more thing, as per the number of hashes we are going to add, it changes the size of the text. Right, greeting. The first question is greeting program. Okay, so our first program will ask the user for their name and then display a welcome message. We will use the input function to take input and the print statement to display the output. Okay, now I'm going to write the code. First, I will define a variable name and take it input from the user. We'll write enter your name. And in the print statement, I'm going to write welcome, comma, name. Now I will run the program. So it obviously asks for the input. I will write Rohit in it. Okay. Okay. So it printed. So it print welcome Rohit, which is the output which we need. So it's a very pretty basic problem. Now the next problem is area of a rectangle. As we have studied in the previous classes, we are going to use operator multiplication operator for this. Okay. Now let's calculate the area of a rectangle. We know the formula area is equals to length into breadth. So what we are going to do is we are going to take length and breadth as input from the user and convert that numbers to float value, and then we are going to calculate the area, and lastly we are going to print that area. So first I will take length as an input, which is we are going to take float input. enter length, and we are also going to define another variable which is breadth. And similarly, we will be taking that input also. Now we have length as well as breadth. Now I will be defining area, which is equals to length multiplied by breadth. And lastly, we are going to print that area. Area is okay. So there's an error. Okay, we need a comma here. Okay, now I will be. It's telling me to enter the length. First, I will enter 4, also 4. So 4 multiplied by 4, which is 16, and we are getting 16 as an output. Now in the next question, we are going to make a calculator. The program will take two numbers from the user and it will be going to perform basic arithmetic operations, which we have learned previously. Marked down. Simple calculator. Okay. So first I will be taking first number as the input. So it will be in the float format also. And input, enter a number. And similarly, we will be taking second number as input. Now we are going to perform different arithmetic operations here. So I will write a print statement, and in the print statement, I will write first we are going to perform addition. Addition equals to num1 plus num2. Then we have subtraction equals to num1 minus num2. Then we have multiplication. That's equals to num1 star num2. We are going to add spaces out there also. Then we have division. Lastly, we are going to perform division. That is equals to num1 divided by num2. Okay. So first we will enter number 1. Say we have 10. And the second operator is 2. We will run this code and we get addition equals to 12, which is 10 plus 2. We get subtraction, that is 8. 10 minus 2 equals to 8. Multiplication, 10 into 2, that's 20. Division, 10 divided by 2, that is 5. So in the next problem, what we are going to do is we are going to convert a Celsius value to a Fahrenheit value. We know the formula, which is F equals to C into 9 by 5 plus 32. So we will be using this formula to convert the Celsius value to Fahrenheit. For that, first we will declare a variable named Celsius, and we will take a float value as the input. Float input, enter the value in Celsius. After that, we will declare another variable which is Fahrenheit. And we will be using the upper formula, that is Celsius multiplied by 9 but divided by 5 plus 32. And finally, we will be printing our values, which is print the value Fahrenheit is We will write Fahrenheit. Okay, so we will run this code. Now let's take 25 as input, and the value in Fahrenheit is 77.0, which is absolutely correct. Now the next question is swap two numbers. So in this question, what we are going to do is we are given two numbers. For example, I'm given a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. Now what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to write code in such a way that the value of a becomes 20 and the value of b becomes 10. For this, we will be using the method in which we will declare a temporary variable.
Now let us understand what is the primary logic behind swapping techniques. For example, I have a variable a which is equals to 10 and a variable b which is equals to 20, and I want to convert in such a way that a becomes 20 and b becomes 10. So let's take example. We have one glass and I have a second glass. In this first glass I have green water, and in second one I have yellow water, and I want to interchange these. So what I will do, I will introduce a third glass. Say this is a, this is b, and this is a temporary glass. So what I will do, I will take this green water and put it into a temporary glass, and this, then I will move this yellow water into a, and finally I will move this green water into b. So in the similar logic we will follow in our coding. So let's move to that.
Now I will be writing the code. Okay, remove this. First take a as an input. We will take a in int value, int input, enter a. Similarly, we will take b as input, int input, enter b. Then I will declare a temporary variable which is temp, and I will store a into this. The value of a variable in temporary variable, and value of now in the temporary variable we have value of a. So a is empty. So in a we will store the value of b, and in the b we will store the value of temporary variable. That's the previous value of a. And finally, I will be printing these values. So we'll write print a equals to, that's a, print b equals to, that is b. Okay, now we'll run this code, enter plus shift. So let's put value of a equals to 10, b is 20. So here we can see that value of a becomes 20 and value of b becomes 10. So great work. Today we wrote our first Python programs and learned how to take user input, perform calculations using variables and display results. I encourage you to type each program yourself instead of simply copying it. Programming is a practical skill, and the more you practice, the more confident you will become. In the next lecture, I will explore Python data types and strings in such more detail. Until then, keep practicing and happy coding. Thank you.